Hallo Leute, ich habe heute einen Speedrun gefunden, der was mich selber auch interessiert. Satisfactory ist ein, so wie Factorio, was ich schon mal gespielt habe, ein Spiel, wo du normalerweise Stunden brauchst, um es durchzuspielen. Du musst Ressourcen sammeln, um bessere Dinge herstellen, und mit besseren Dingen stellst die tust du wieder verschiedene bessere Dinge tust du wieder vereinen, um wieder was Neues zu produzieren. Aber ihr werdet gleich sehen, was hier geht. Mal schauen. Ja, das ist gut so. So. Ich habe den Speedrun selber noch nicht gesehen.
Hello, everybody. I'm Epiphany. We're about to show off some sweet Satisfactory. Behind us, or behind me, I have Zenadיר here and Link on the other side. We're going to be talking through this sweet game.
Also,
Now, for those of you who don't know what Satisfactory is, it's a factory building game where you try to make a bunch of stuff automatically, but we go fast, and so we're going to try and make it all ourselves. We're going to go in here, skip the intro.
We should start the timer.
Oh, we should start the timer.
Thank you, StreamTex.
Thank you.
So we're going to start the game by breaking it. I'm skipping all the onboarding flow here. By entering photo mode, we actually skip a bunch of things where we have to, learn how to play the game, but I already know, so I don't really want to learn.
And if you've played Satisfactory before, you know that this area is totally filled with poison, but we're going so fast it doesn't matter.
Yes, we don't really give the time for the enemies to wake up here.
The patented poison skip. Thank you for that.
Another thing we like to do here while we're running around the map is mobility in this game is actually really fun. So I'm crouching before I jump every time, and that initiates a slide. Gets me going about 50% faster, and it feels great. If you've never run around and slide jumped in this game, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
Its movement was absolutely the first thing I noticed, surprisingly, despite it being a factory and building game. I was like, wow, this feels really
was ich
smooth.
sagen muss, ist,
fantastic.
er sammelt, schätze ich mal, die ganzen Pflanzen ein für die Energie, was er dann braucht. Weil die Pflanzen kannst du dann komprimieren und besseren Brennstoff machen, und den Brennstoff brauchst du dann für Strom. Strom brauchst du für die Automatisierung der Geräte, was du dann. Ja, ihr werdet es gleich sehen.
It's great just to slide and jump around.
Yeah. Another thing I'm doing while I'm running around here is I'm setting up a building menu hotbar, because navigating UI with a mouse is hard, especially if you have bad accuracy like me. So we're running around here trying to set up a hotbar so that when it comes time to build our factory, we don't have to navigate those UIs later.
Question for you, Link. Did you happen to catch what the donation total was earlier?
I don't. Kyle, would you be able to give me the current donation total?
1.262 million.
Wow, look
That's
at
a lot of money.
What an amazing amount of money so far.
I can't wait to use that number. Anyways, so what are we doing here currently, Mr. Runner?
Yeah, so right now we're in what I would call the most RNG part of the run, where you have to fight enemies, because fighting enemies is hard. But fortunately, we had a pretty good bee fight there, so I'm going to build 37 iron ore, and I'm going to start smelting it into ingots. Now, this game has a lot of what I like to call crafting ASMR. We'll just listen to it for a moment. Isn't that nice? Everything I do is pre-memorized, so I have to know exactly how many iron ingots, iron plates, iron rods I'm going to be crafting, and I'm going to be going to very specific numbers throughout the entire run here. So right now I'm trying to make 37 iron ingots, which I'm going to be turning into 10 plates and 22 rods. I'll then be turning those in to get the first hub milestone, and we will start our very first automation.
How can you possibly keep track of all of these numbers in your head? How good at math are you?
I took 3 classes in high school.
Oh, wow, 3. I can't even count that high.
So now I'm building things without using the UI again. This is using the hotbar that I set up earlier, so I'll be using a lot of the pre-set up shortcuts that I put together, as well as a hotkey called E, or the button is E.
It's a good hotkey.
I'm going to throw out my Xeno Zapper because I don't intend to be fighting any other enemies here in the rest of this run. If I run into any other enemies, it'll be a bad time, but should be fine.
I'm a big fan of Ada at Fixit.biz. Fixit is a wonderful corporation, am I correct, friend?
I am legally obligated to say yes.
Oh, good. I'm glad you read the bylaws, the guidelines.
I have to agree.
I love working for Fixit. Thank you.
I also love working for Fixit, the only company to work for.
I'm glad we have so many friends that have landed on the planet with us, including the ones that left us amazing resources earlier that we'll get to use later.
I hope to shake their hand one day.
One day I would love to meet them, because they totally made it. They totally are survived and are building factories of their own somewhere on the planet.
Yes, yes.
If you consider yourself a happy Fix-It employee, I highly suggest you donate and say as such, or else you might get in trouble.
They're listening.
So what we're going to be doing here is setting up our first smelter, which will help me have to create less iron ingots, but it's not working yet, so I'm going to have to make some more myself.
Buildings and recipes, which can be found in the build menu.
What are we going to be
and
doing
craft
after we build
respectively.
these?
Next is diversification. So I've been working on iron stuff specifically, as you can see,
Complete hub upgrade
but there are other
three.
resources in the game.
Connect buildings to a
For this run,
biomass
I'm going to need a lot of
burner
iron,
for
copper,
power.
and
Note,
limestone-based
buildings such as the smelter
materials.
require a
So
recipe
I'm
to be
building a
set.
bunch of portable miners here, and I'm going to get them out to our
Advice.
coal, or
Automate the smelting
our copper
process
and our
use
limestone
portable
nodes, so that I
for
can come back
optimal
later and get all
results.
the things that I need.
Limestone
During this
beam.
time, my smelter's been working faithfully, so when I come back, it'll hopefully have a bunch of ingots for me to work with as well. This is when we start parallelizing the rest of the factory. Obviously, it's going to get more complex and crazy afterwards, but it's just the beginning.
I don't think we actually stopped to really explain what the run category is. Can you explain that for us, Mr. Runner?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're doing here is what we call package percent. There's 4 major milestones in the game, each corresponding to what's called a space elevator package. And so the package percent category is to submit the first milestone of the game. We have to make 50 smart plating for it, and the milestones get much more complex after that. I think that the next category takes about an hour. This one's 20 minutes, give or take. And then they stack up to 6 hours, followed by 29. So it does get a bit more complicated here, but we're going to be showing off just a taste of how factory building can go. So this is my favorite physics-based trick of the game. I don't want to climb up to this node, so instead I'm going to build a smelter and use that as a little bit of a ladder and a jumping point to get up here.
Bridges are very slow.
Correct.
Running is very slow. Why would you do that when you can just build a piece of factory you'll never actually use outside of the ladder that you built it for?
The big theme in this game is that there are a lot of cool natural things that you can use, or you can just ignore them and build a factory.
Big fan of just building a factory to ignore all of the running I would have to do otherwise. It's the efficiency of speedrunning. And I see we're using a lot of portable miners here. There's a lot of efficiency in that, correct?
There is indeed. So each of these nodes, we've actually built the hub on top of one of them. They can support one automated miner, which is what you would do if you were playing Satisfactory normally. You'd put one miner down and it would get you about 120 iron per minute. But we don't like that speed, so instead I'm going to be putting down at least 3, sometimes 4 miners, which will give me 400 and 500 iron ingots at a time. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to collect these miners. They're all done doing the work, and I'm going to give them a new job. One of them is going to be going to get me more concrete materials, and the other one is going to be getting me some more iron.
Use power poles to expand the power
And limestone
network
being
for
extremely
optimal
important because we
results.
need a lot of limestone to make concrete, which is kind of one of the major hurdles for building our first package.
Yep, so in order to complete the game, we're going to have to get, I think it's about 1,600 limestone in total, and we only have not that much time to do it, so I'm going to be coming up there a few times.
I still can't count that high.
I mean, who can, really? So we're going to drop our new iron friend here, and we're going to get to crafting a little bit more. We're going to have a lot of ASMR crafting in the next couple minutes, so it would be a great opportunity to read off some donations.
Absolutely, I'd love to do that for you. We've got $25 from Bobby Bees, who says, looking forward to that Satisfactory run. Let's keep going, everyone. Thank you so much. Well, that Satisfactory run's happening right now. We also have opened up a milestone incentive here at $1.484 million for the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl Pokemon Any % run. So everything you're donating is going towards that, and you can double dip if you want. Say you want to see that Ocarina of Time beta showcase, donate, put the incentive to that, and you're getting double value for your dono.
And as a note, I got a snippet of the Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl run, and it is amazing to watch. Like, the tricks that they do and the math that they keep in their head for that is just ridiculous, the amount of knowledge that those runners have.
So a thing I'd like to point out here is we do have an amazing friend on the couch with us. They're not mic'd, but this is our friend the Lizard Doggo. You can pet the Lizard Doggo in this game. Did you know that? Because we can go and pet the Lizard Doggo if that's a thing that the donations decide they would like. We just have to hear it first. Would you like to pet the Lizard Doggo, audience? Oh, I'm hearing some support there. That's a thing we can keep an eye on for, I hope. So where are we currently in our lovely little factory here?
You have unlocked
So right now we've
building,
built all the
conveyor
smelters that we're going to need
belts,
for a while, and we're working on
inventory,
unlocking
additional
constructors.
slots.
I'm going to silence Ada for a little bit.
How dare you?
I
I'm reporting that to HR.
don't tell her about it. So yeah, we're about to unlock constructors, which is going to get us nearly to the point that we're ready to start working on the resource sink. So one of my favorite gimmicks of this run is that rather than build everything we need, we are going to buy a lot of the parts. And in order to do that, we're going to use a milestone called the Resource Sink Bonus Program. Now, the intent of that milestone is that you can, donate extra parts that you have and get a couple extra recipes, a couple fun things, but we're going to ignore that, and instead we're going to use a less well-used ability, which is you can buy parts. So we collected some computers and circuit boards earlier on the run, and what we're going to do here is we're going to donate them, use those extra tickets as little rewards for going and collecting like good little employees, and we're going to use those to buy everything that we need for the space elevator, which is normally a very expensive building to build. So we're going to plug those in, head back up, and we're going to be making our way up to the limestone node one more time to start making some stuff to finish the hub upgrades.
I'm very thankful for our fellow Fix-It employee for leaving those computers for our speed run.
Yeah, what happened to them anyway?
I don't know. I'm still currently exploring the map to chart out the planet, but I've been told that the others did not make it now. I don't know why that update is suddenly coming through on my emails. I hope they're okay.
I was told they were on vacation and that they're experiencing retirement from Fix-It.
You get vacation time?
I don't.
Apparently they do.
When I asked about them last time, I was told not to worry about it, so I don't worry about it.
I was told if I ask again, they'll take away the benefits I do have.
Oh, like life?
You get benefits?
You have life?
Speaking of benefits, I do have a $1,000 anonymous donation that says, remember to take advantage of your employer's charitable donation match. What a great tip.
You know, Fix-It would indeed match a donation like that. Fix-It is a reputable industry and company. I really love Fix-It. Don't you love Fix-It?
I love Fix-It.
You know what else I love? Speedruns. How are we doing on the speedrun there, Mr. Runner?
Yeah, we're doing pretty well here. So the next thing that I'm trying to do here is I'm getting to 100 of iron rod and iron plate, which will allow me to finish the tutorial. We're almost done with the tutorial of this game.
How far in are we? We're about a little bit over 10 minutes here. I definitely would probably be still stumbling out of the pod.
Yeah.
So that's
First time I
about
played
my
this, it took me about 5 hours.
That sounds about right. It's a great game just to get lost in, so I didn't mind at all. 5 hours in, I'm like, I think I'm figuring out how to build a factory, and everything's like facing the wrong ways.
The time really does fly by. So we're going to submit this hub milestone, which is going to complete the tutorial, and we're going to get to work on unlocking the awesome sink.
Big fan of the awesome sink.
So you'll notice a few times throughout the run we dismantle pretty much everything we built and rebuild just because the materials are too important to grab, and interacting takes a lot of time. And you'll notice that he jumps a lot when he interacts. That's because you can still carry your momentum while interacting, so you can almost interact with one and jump to the next and be ready to interact with that.
Incorporated, I thank you for your current and future service.
Thank you, Ada.
Additional knowledge. The hub terminal has been converted to give access to
Speaking of, when we do
milestones,
demolish a lot of
they're
things,
to
including the
address
power
along
lines, you're doing a
specific
duplication glitch. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Note,
And it's
future
not
developments
used
should be
super
aimed at
often here,
constructing
but
a space
in order to
elevator
get
and
enough
such
cable for
initiating
later on in the run, we
project
are going to be
design.
duplicating some.
Good luck.
The way that it works is, I'm actually going to take these out of here. The way that it works is when you dismantle a building, if it's connected to a power cable, it will give you the power cable back. It will basically dismantle that part. However, it doesn't know if you're dismantling its neighbor. So if you dismantle its neighbor, that will also give you the cable back. Thus, you get 2 cables for the price of 1.
That's efficiency at its finest.
What a steal.
Can't get that price anywhere else. Thank you, Fix-It.
Yep. So we're going to get back to it a little bit more ASMR just as I make enough concrete and wire to fulfill this milestone. It'd be a great time to read some more donations.
Yeah, you've got it. We've got $50 from Dane Slafe. It says, let's get that Ocarina of Time showcase. And I've got $100 from Funk Factory. They say, before I forget, here's some money. Thank you so much for those donos.
Thank you for the money.
And I've got $250 from Work Metaphor. That says, GDQ is so wonderful. Thank you all. Well, thank you, Work Metaphor.
GDQ is wonderful. So I like that when we were talking beforehand and I asked you, how pretty is your factory going to look? And you said not at all, but everything is still so efficiently lined up. It's very interesting to see, especially how many times you demolish and rebuild things. Everything still lines up due to how it snaps, and even then, I still couldn't use that mechanic at all somehow. I'm glad I'm learning so much through the speedrun. Thank you, my fellow Fix-It employee.
Of course, I could imagine nothing better.
And I know we gathered a number earlier in the run. Do you happen to know what I needed that for, my fellow commentator?
Yes. So, because this run is so math heavy, we figured we'd hit GDQ with a nice math fact. So our donation total at the beginning of the run was 1,262,319, which just happens to be the 17,521,849th position of pi.
Wow.
And if anyone can remember all of those digits, I will give you an apple.
You sound like my math teacher in high school. It's a good reward for all of that math. An apple. An apple a day keeps the math away, am I right?
I think that's the opposite of what happened in my math school. It just gave me more math.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. At least it led you here to fix it.
That's right. And who wouldn't want to be here?
It's my favorite place to be. So where are we looking right now in terms of how the factory is progressing?
Yeah, so we're looking pretty good here. I'm just about wrapping up this milestone. I'm going to toss in a little bit of wood here to keep this going. Once I get enough iron rods, I'll be able to submit the resource sync bonus program, and we'll be able to move on with the run. I'm looking to get about 67, and we're going to look to deconstruct all this and get our 400 concrete that we've been working so hard on.
And one of the big things he's looking at is the kind of in the middle of the screen there, all the resources we're getting from that mass dismantling. We're looking for a very specific number of certain resources.
Including that
Milestone
wonderful 400
reached.
concrete.
You've been
Looks like we
given
have
early
just
access
enough,
to
so I'm going to plug
the
those in and make
anti-waste
myself
effort
an
for
awesome
testing
sink.
materials on exoplanets
And this is where
bonus
those
program.
computers and computer chips that we picked up at the beginning of the run come in handy, because this will give us those tickets we were talking about to buy resources instead of having to go and manually gather them, because that's
Which can
slow.
be exchanged for bonus rewards.
It's the epiphany of capitalism, really.
Examples of bonus content are parts,
I do love
walls,
the use of the
factory
awesome
attachments,
sync. It's
and
something I never would have
cosmetics.
considered to progress
Fix-It is
faster.
working
Like,
hard
yes,
to
I can just
develop
donate the
additional
resources I don't
options,
need and
which
just
will be
buy the
added to
rest
the
of them instead
awesome
of
store
buying
in
that
the
coffee
future.
cup I've always wanted. Thank you, Fix-It.
Go that extra kilometer.
Big fan of the coffee
Go
cup.
Awesome.
Big fan of this friend Lizard Doggo up here that you can donate to have a chance to win. This is part of the prize pack, actually. A $25 minimum donation. Did you know that? It's from lizarddoggo.com.
Is it actually?
Yes, I
Is
saw
indeed.
that. I love it. So what are we buying currently? What are the parts you're getting through the awesome shop?
So we're buying a very specific amount of plates, rods, wire, everything that we need to make our awesome sink, because rather than make all the parts ourselves again, we're just going to buy them. So I'm going to set up a little bit of power here. We did not make everything that we need. We made most of it, but we do have to do a little bit of work ourselves. So that's what I'm going to be doing now, is setting up a small factory to spend the next few minutes crafting space elevator parts.
And you'll see here he's interacting incredibly quickly, but actually we're on sort of a soft timer. In the top right corner, you can see that our pod is returning. No matter how fast we go, we cannot do anything until that pod comes back for our next objective.
You know, I think now would be a really good time for some donations. Do we happen to have any?
Well, we happen to have so many. We have $15 from Kiros that says, Happy Friday, GDQ. Congrats on raising over $1 million so far. Now let's get that number even higher. Thank you so much for that. And we've got $80 from Tobias A. They say good luck to all the runners and thanks for an amazing event. Well, thank you for your amazing donations.
What happens to be your favorite part of the video game, Mr. Runner?
My favorite part, honestly, has to be the exploration. Even though it's about building, I really like being able to just explore. This map is very well made. It's very fine-tuned. It's got a lot of nice enemies, fun things you can discover, great caves, some scary ones, but the rest are great. So we're going out here to salvage a little bit more things. We're trying to take advantage of this extra time that we have. There's our lizard doggo. We might be coming back for him later, but you'll have to wait, good friend.
I believe.
That we will go and gather and pet the dog if we get like one donation naming Pet the Dog.
All I'm saying is I might have been sitting here putting in a donation to pet the doggo. I'm not going to confirm or deny it, but I do really like the prize pack.
Is that a conflict of interest for Fix-It?
I don't know. I mean, the lizard doggos are also working, so we could just be considered coworkers, right?
Are we recruiters?
Am I going to finally get promoted? I've been working for this company for my entire life. I like being appreciated by Fix-It. This feels wonderful. So how exactly do you go about setting up the power grid so efficiently?
I use a lot of hotkeys in order to put biomass in all these things. I do have to split up a little bit here, but you can use a lot of number keys for quick shortcuts while you're setting up factories. For example, I'm pressing 1 in order to put in materials to all these smelters here. So I'm going to drop those in. I'm actually going to grab a little bit of iron to work with here because I expect to have a little bit of time before the drop pod returns. So I'm going to just use those ingots to make stuff myself.
You know, another thing that I keep noticing is how much you go back to crafting yourself despite how much is being automated. I think that's also a really cool part of the speedrun, something I never would have considered. Once everything's automated, I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna look around, I'm gonna watch it do the work for me, but you're out there really putting in the work yourself, really getting your hands dirty. What a model employee.
I hope to get promoted one day. Maybe I might even get paid.
I'll put in a good word for you.
Well, thank you.
I'm sure mine means a lot.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
find that most manual crafting is actually much more efficient in this game than using automation. Of course, if you've got 5 to 10 machines, it's going to be a lot better for you. But generally speaking, if you can do something automatically with a machine versus do it automatically, it's better to do it manual. You could go anywhere between 8 and 16 times faster. So we're gonna not get stuck on geometry here and then start dismantling. Now you notice that I'm hovering all the cables here. This is that duplication bug that I was talking about. So I'm getting double the amount of cables just by dismantling everything on all ends here.
And what in particular are we looking for while dismantling currently?
Right now we're just looking to get everything back. We will be looking for smart plating later on in the run,
Milestone exchange.
but now it's time to build that factory. So we're gonna be building the final factory of our run here. Dismantle this, and I'm gonna be using E to get quickly to assembler. I'm just going to make a lot of these bad
Milestone
boys.
reached. More complex assembly of parts.
I always
can now
love
be
when Ada
automated.
chimes in. What a good friend
Project
she is.
assembly parts can now be constructed and sent up via the space
You can
elevator.
easily align all your buildings by
Note,
holding control, which is what I do for a lot of the run here. I hold control and just click a lot of times, and then usually it gives me everything that I need.
And then you'll notice here we're adding a specific amount of items in there, and it actually works out perfectly with what we grabbed earlier we can just right click to quick split a stack, and that gives us pretty much exactly what we need if we split it enough times.
And we're also efficiently using the momentum, like you mentioned earlier. While interacting with one, we're jumping past it to also be immediately ready to put in the resources for the next one. And also, you're putting the resources in the first to build the smart platings before you're even building the connectors to the next section, which is a really efficient way that I never would have considered either. I'm setting everything up in very specifically before I even start building anything. It's just, the efficiency in this run was really impressive when I was sitting down watching at 4 a.m. to prep for this. Like, wow, it's just so, the small things that you'd never consider unless you were really thinking in that efficient manner.
Satisfactory is a beautiful game in which you'll start playing it and find out that it's 6 in the morning and you have work the next day.
I can confirm that has happened to me on many occasions.
Yep. Play at midnight, wake up at 4 a.m. to realize you had to work at 2 a.m.
Well, I'm always working because I work for Fix-It, so
That's
That's
right.
true.
it's part of the contract.
So we're gonna go ahead and build the rest of the stuff that we need for our space elevator, and then I think I have enough time here to go make a friend who will come with us for the rest of the run.
Yeah, I think it's time to recruit another employee to fix it.
That's right.
And I think while we're at it, do we also have some time for some donations?
We absolutely have some ready to go. We've got a nice reminder from Tragic Bike. They donate $25 and say, hydrate, please. That's right, keep hydrated, everybody. We've got $25 from King TDN. It says, it's been a great marathon so far. Let's go.
Hey there, buddy. Would you like a pale berry? Yeah, you would.
Oh,
That's a good boy. Come with me.
that's a good friend. Do you think we should name him? Do you think Fix-It would want our friend named?
I don't know if Fix-It wants you attaching emotions to any of the animals.
So we'll just give it a number then.
I think we should name him Chad.
Oh, okay, Chad also works, but let's not tell Fix-It.
All right, so we've prepped our mass dismantle here to end the run. I'm looking at that smart plating number, which is sitting at 46, 47. We're getting near the end here, and once it hits 50, I'm gonna be dismantling, and we'll be wrapping this up. As soon as I pull the bar down to send the space elevator package, that'll be time. So I'm gonna drop these in here. Drop these in here, and as soon as we hit send, that'll be it.
And where can we find you?
And, well, first we gotta hit time. And now we can watch the building continue being built and shot up into space. There you go, Fix-It.
Shout out to Fix-It.
And there you
Shout
are,
out to
doggo.
Chad.
Shout outs to Chad.
Yeah, and again, I'm Epiphany. I stream on twitch.tv/Epiphany. This is Zenadier again and Link, who have been helping commentate this excellent run. This is a lot of fun. I got nothing else to add here. Anything you two want to say? Any final parting shots?
Shout outs to our amazing audience who has been just phenomenal the entire run.
The entire event.
The entire event. You guys have raised so much money for charity, and it is just exhilarating to see so many people get so hyped for this event.
I just would like to shout out our friend Chad, shout out Fixit for this opportunity, and shout out to
23 Minuten einfach mal ein Spiel durchgespielt, was eigentlich so 30 bis 40 Stunden brauchst. Ja, wer kennt's nicht. Ja, das war's schon wieder.